They gonna love me now, 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 now.
Welcome back to Atlanta.
I know, I love it here.
Yeah, because like 2 years ago you were at, I'm looking at my notes, Terminal West, and it was like 300 people that you performed in front of. Now you're here in Duluth.
Yeah.
13,000. I mean, do you step back and you're like, whoa, like that was just 2 years ago. Like, how does that feel for you?
Yeah, definitely. It's really crazy, but it's also really cool because there's a lot of fans that are like familiar faces, you know what I mean? And like they kind of like bring me back down. Like when you see someone in like a meet and greet and they were there when you were playing to like 300 people and wearing like Urban Outfitters and American Apparel on stage, like with like a bad haircut and like, you know what I mean? Like playing in like a tiny little venue. It's like you can look like a superstar and act like a superstar and walk like a superstar, but they know who you are inside. They see right through you, you know?
They've been out here since 4 a.m.
They're crazy.
They love you.
They're super awesome. The camping culture has become a huge part of like the Halsey communities. They all get together and like it's like a big sleepover and they get to meet, you know. A lot of these kids live like a kind of far apart, and this is the one time a year where they all get to come together and they're all friends online. You know what I mean? So it's like meeting your pen pals.
Yeah, they're on cult for Halsey.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all positive. They're so super stoked for you. I just lost my train of thought. So I want to talk about your show tonight, like the production.
Yeah.
Everything that you put into it. I'm sure you're like firsthand into it. Like, what should we expect tonight for your show? Like, what are we gonna see different than 2 years ago at Terminal West?
Oh wow, it's very different than that show. I designed this stage a couple weeks before the tour started, and I was a little last minute. I was running on a deadline and just like last minute came up with this idea and was kind of like, can we please make this happen? And they were like, yeah, we'll try. So my stage is like really big and I don't want to give away too much, but when I first started out, one of the big things I do is I climb, much to the panic and dismay of my touring crew who were worried about me hurting myself.
Oh, no.
But I used to climb stuff on the stage, like, you know, speaker stacks and lighting towers, and I just liked climbing. So over the years, like I've kind of developed new ways of adding parts to my stage that I can climb, that are meant to be climbed. Instead
Are you nervous?
Sometimes I do it in heels, so it's a little. It can be a little intimidating, but this one's a lot more chill, but it has the same kind of mentality of me liking to kind of go up and down on the stage. But the big thing for me was kind of trying to create a show that was really visually stunning. I really just wanted it to look like an art exhibit, because, you know, the songs all have really, really meticulous storylines behind them, and they're all very specific. So kind of drawing different elements and different color palettes to kind of give my fans an experience that gives them a little more insight. Like, I wish I could sit down and talk to every fan individually and tell them exactly what my thought process was for every song. But since I can't, this kind of lets them see where my head was at. Yeah. So for me, it's like showing them, like, and I've talked to fans about it before, where it's like every song has a very specific color palette. So like there's a song on my first album called Roman Holiday, and that song is green. It's always been green, but it's not lime green, it's seafoam green. It's like very specific.
Really?
Yeah, and you know, sometimes I'll meet a fan who's like, that song's always been really red for me, and I'm like, no, the song's green. And then they see it live and they're like, I understand now.
Okay,
yeah.
So sorry to interrupt, for your song with Quavo.
Yeah.
You know, these are Lawrenceville boy.
I know.
What color is that song? Your song Lie with Quavo.
Ooh,
Does it have a color?
It's really dark. It's kind of like blue and orange, these like contrasting colors, because the song's about a fight. So I use these orange and blue are they're opposites. They're analogous. I believe they're analogous. And so they kind of represent this duality of like two people being against each other, because the song is about an argument. So I've kind of used those colors in that way.
How was it like working with him?
We didn't meet in person. We kind of did it. He was on the road and I was working in the studio. But it was really cool to have him get on a record that's kind of unexpected to have an artist like him on. It's not like a club record or, you know.
Well, we were jamming out to it on our way here.
Cool.
And I think you guys really complement each other on the track.
It's definitely unexpected, yeah.
I love it. Also, I want to ask real quick one more question. Halloween's coming up.
Yeah.
And I know you're a huge Halloween fan from my research.
Yes.
Show prepping.
Huge.
Are you gonna do like the couple thing with G's? Or are you just gonna do your own thing like for Halloween? What are you thinking about being this year?
I have a huge Halloween party every year, and it's kind of my way of giving back to the community in 2 ways. The first is that it's an open bar, and that's a really good way to give back to the community, is let them all drink for free. And the second thing is that the only thing I ask for is that the only admission is a donation to a local charity at the door.
That's cool.
So everyone comes, and they all come in costume, but I always theme it around a director I really like. So last year we themed it around Tarantino, and there was like the Pulp Fiction diner and the Kill Bill like trees outside, and it was this whole event. And then this year we've really stepped it up, and we're doing Baz Luhrmann, because that's he's the director that influenced my album.
Right.
So it's gonna be like Great Gatsby, Moulin Rouge, Romeo and Juliet.
So romantic.
So I think that he and I are probably gonna have to go as Daisy and Gatsby, which is kind of sad because they don't end up together in the end. But
don't.
we're gonna pretend they do. They look really good together, so we'll make it work.
Well, perfect. I'm so excited to see you tonight. And
Awesome.
Thank you so much for spending time with us. And you're
Of course.
always welcome to Q100.
Thank you.
Here in Atlanta.
I hope you guys love the show.
Absolutely.
Bye.